after the Lillard trade went down to Milwaukee, I went, it's over. Then I heard, the Celtics could be in on Holiday. I went, okay, let's wait and see what happens. But when Lillard went to Milwaukee, I go, not happening. They're not going to win it. It's not going to happen if Milwaukee stays healthy. And then they pulled this trigger. And I telling you, Bob, I was like, it's Boston and it's Milwaukee.
Right.
And they're right there. They are right there. The Celtics can win it this year. And I haven't really felt that way. Even when they lost to Golden State, I was like, Golden State has been there, done that. They got the experience. But now I feel that this Celtic team has the personalities, the makeup, and the talent to win it.
The Ryan Goodman and Tanguay podcast is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Okay, guys, got a lot of work to do. Bob, Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay along for the Ride Zoom and podcast. We are brought to you by FanDuel, the official partner of the CLNS Media Network. Snap in action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Okay, guys, the big news. Bob, we're going to start with you. Brad Stevens, I think, has done a wonderful job. I think the Celtics are true contenders. Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, and picks. They go out the door to Portland, and Jrue Holiday comes to the Celtics. Your thoughts?
First of all, Happy New Year, guys, as the basketball season has officially begun. The balls are bouncing in Brighton, Massachusetts. So we're glad to hear that. Okay. Yes, Brad Stevens has answered the question that we had in the offseason, which is, are we going to go back and try it again? Or are we going to try something new? And clearly we're trying something new with the Porzingis acquisition. And then the miraculous, this fell into their lap, let's be honest. The idea that Jrue Holiday was involved with that Lillard thing, and that we knew that everybody in the world knew that Portland Trail Blazers weren't going to hang on to Jrue Holiday. And there certainly were multiple suitors. And he got it done. I will miss Robert Williams, but he was, let's face it, a colossal tease. Giving us glimpses of greatness, but not being around when we really needed him. I wish him well. I hope he has the career. But everything, I'll be honest, guys, a year ago at this time, I was aware of Jrue Holiday, an excellent NBA player, but I had no feel for him. I had no opinion of him. He was just a name, a guy that would get in the All-Star game. Also, part of a family, the Holidays. Clear, there's multiple Holidays, okay? And his unusual first name, the whole thing, but nothing. I didn't have a feel for him. Oh boy, am I learning? He's a lot better player than I ever knew.
Because he's not flashy, Bob. He's not flashy in his personality or his game. He's just like the hard hat guy that just does whatever you need him to do.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, right. And everything I hear about is his flexibility, his team-oriented sense of everything. It's too good to be true, and almost, that they could replace, we all, all right, I will miss Marcus Smart. I certainly was aware of his flaws. I knew he was flawed. I loved him anyway. I always said he and Jackie Bradley Jr. were my twin, obsessions in that regard, okay? So, but wow, they replaced them, frankly, and I think adequately. Let me just say this. I'll shut up for a minute. They've opened the window even more. The window was open. It ain't going to be open for too long. He's 32, so let's remember that.
I think he's 30.
All right, he's going to be 30. It ain't better. Now, remember, 15 years ago, 16 actually, 07, they made the cataclysmic moves that transformed that team, and the window was open, and they got it done. They could have had 3. We all know that weren't for injuries, but they got it done. This team had better act as if they got 1 year to do it. They should,
right, a sense of urgency.
They should act that way.
Yes, there's no doubt about it, because you don't know what's going to happen with Tatum long term. God bless him, but he may want to go to the Lakers. Who knows? And you have to have a win now mentality. And to me, Jeff, that's what Brad Stevens has done. And I do think that he's given you all the Marcus Smart traits without the drama and without hogging the ball with 60 seconds to go.
Blockbuster Brad. He doesn't like the name, but I've heard he's being called that name within the walls of the Auerbach Center. So, Brad, Brad he's a different dude, and give him credit, because I thought he'd have difficulty making some of these trades.
Nope.
I really did. I thought he'd have, actually telling these players that they're shipped out. He's such a guy who feels it, and with these relationships, he's not like a Daryl Morey type, and we'll get to Daryl Morey later here, but not about the numbers or anything like that. It's more about the relationships, and sending away Rob Williams, I'm sure was hard for him, because again, he watched that kid grow into a man from a boy. I mean, a kid who again had his issues, and but I love the trade because here's the thing, and I talked to somebody in the league the other day, right after the trade, and I said, all right, compare Brogdon and Jrue Holiday, compare them to me. And he said, they're not even in the same stratosphere.
No.
And part of the deal, guys, is Brogdon wasn't a very good defender last year. Jrue Holiday is one of the top defenders in the league, probably better than Marcus Smart was last year, not 2 years ago, but better. Obviously, a better point guard, a better shooter. I mean, over the last 3 years, Jrue Holiday shot almost 40% from three. So you're adding Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. And again, I know you don't like the system, Bob, launching the threes, but if you're going to play it, have the right guys to be able to execute it. And that's what they're doing now.
I love the idea at Media Day. The Inquisitors did put Joe Mazzulla's feet to the fire about the three obsession, and he had a good joking sense of humor about it, which I did like to see, because we're still trying to learn who he is. Yes. We don't know him.
I don't think he knows, Bob.
We didn't know him.
He doesn't know, Bob. He's a kid, and I'm saying this. I'm saying this in fairness to him, in fairness to, and I don't want to get too far off the trade, but in fairness to Mazzulla, he's still finding out who he is. And I'm saying that to be fair to the guy. I'm not saying it to be demeaning. But back to the issue here at hand is that after the Lillard trade went down to Milwaukee, I went, it's over. Then I heard, the Celtics could be in a Holiday. I went, okay, let's wait and see what happens. But when Lillard went to Milwaukee, I go, not happening. They're not going to win it. It's not going to happen if Milwaukee stays healthy. And then they pulled this trigger. And I telling you, Bob, I was like, it's Boston and it's Milwaukee.
Right.
And they're right there. They are right there. The Celtics can win it this year. And I haven't really felt that way. Even when they lost to Golden State, I was like, Golden State has been there, done that. They got the experience. But now I feel that this Celtic team has the personalities, the makeup, and the talent to win it. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. That's guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. It absolutely is. The app is easy to use, and you can be on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston. Kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
All right, Jeff, how concerned are you about the front court?
Concerned. Yes. Very concerned, because you got a 37-year-old Al Horford. Porzingis, and I asked him this question at Media Day. I said, how comfortable are you with the five? Not offensively. He can play the five offensively. That's not the issue. It's defensively. And he had a good answer. He said, listen, other than Embiid and Jokic, how many post-up fives are there anymore?
Thank you. Who do you have to worry about?
Right. He's right. But again, you still got to get through Embiid. We're not scared of Philly today, though. That's the one thing. You can give Embiid his 40 every night. It's just making sure Maxey doesn't hurt you, Tobias doesn't hurt you, those guys. But I am worried. What I think they're going to do, Bob, is they're going to give Luke Cornett a chance here to play 12, 15 minutes a game in the regular season and see if he can be a guy who can give you 8 or 10 in the playoffs. Cornett is a better athlete than you think. He's 7'2", can't really shoot, right? Can't shoot. Went to Vandy, was a kid who, wasn't highly recruited at all. grew, went to Vanderbilt, had a good career there, was in the G League a couple of years ago, but he's smart and he knows his role. He is not going to try to do more than he's capable of. So he's going to screen. He's going to try to just make these guys look better. And he said that on offense. Like, that's his deal, is on defense, rebound, block shots, and on offense, screen and catch lobs and finish around the rim. And they're never going to throw him the ball, but all he's got to do for those 12, 15 minutes is do the little things, which he's going to buy into, unlike maybe some other bigs.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I liked what I saw last year in that role. And I was a bit of, people were downplaying him and dismissing him as a nothing in the offseason. And so, and that's just wrong. So I think we're on the same page with this. I think I'm willing to live with it, until I see otherwise, that he's going to get exactly what I thought, 12 to 15 minutes.
They have first round picks. If they want to make a move in the middle of the season, if they say, Horford gets hurt, something like that, Cornette isn't up to the task, Porzingis can't play the 5 defensively, then they're going to have to make a move. Now they have a bunch of first rounders, all their first rounders coming up. And then they have a ton of second rounders, and they have a trade exception. So they can get a guy. Are they going to get a frontline guy? Maybe not, but they could get a piece, 20-minute a game veteran if they need to at the break.
Put my mind at rest and get my pulse rate back to normal. I have heard a name mentioned that sends shivers. How many more?
Dwight Howard is the name you're going to mention, probably. No?
I don't usually speak the name, but I think that's the fellow I'm thinking of. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I just can't see under any circumstance Brad Stevens bringing in Dwight Howard. It would be such a bad fit in this locker room too, where again, Dwight's kind of a clown, and now you're throwing him in a room of kind of quiet, professional type guys, right? Like Jrue Holiday. The one thing we don't want to gloss over here, he's not a Marcus Smart personality. He kind of fits in with the rest of them. He's quiet. He's to himself. He'll speak when he I just spoke to somebody the other day again who had a chance to coach him and said, like, Jrue's, they literally said Milwaukee is in mourning a little bit there from losing Jrue Holiday. They love the fact that they got Dame Lillard, but everybody you talk to talks about Jrue's character. I mean, this is a guy who I believe sat out a year to take care of his wife, who was fighting obviously she was sick at the time, and she's doing a whole lot better. But it speaks to his character. How many guys are going to do that in the prime of their careers? Not many. And Jrue's just like the consummate pro. I know you hear that word, that phrase thrown around a lot, but that's what he is. Now, again, my worry, and you said this before, Gary, is they got all the pieces to fit together. Yeah, they do. Who's that dude who's going to challenge him? Tatum keeps saying, and he said it to me a month ago, he said it again the other day, he's going to speak. He does speak. We just don't see it. Jaylen Brown said, I've got to be a little bit more vocal as well. I think everybody has to kind of police themselves in that locker room. But the good thing about that locker room is you don't have a lot of clowns in that locker room.
Yeah,
that's why we're bringing Dwight Howard. They're good, high character dudes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Jeff, I know everybody loves to say there's that one guy who's Perk, was the sheriff in the Celtics locker room, and the guys that held court and kept things going. And Bob could chime in on this too. I don't think they need it. They got.
I want an energy guy, though. That's what I want. And I don't know if they have an energy guy on the court.
I don't know, man. You can't have everything. But right now, I think this is the best roster they've had in the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
Wow, Tanguay coming out strong, feeling positive today. We haven't seen a glass half full Tanguay in a long time here, Bob. What's going on?
But they have all the answers, they really do. I mean,
it's 70 degrees every day. That's what it is, Bob. It's 70 degrees. Gary's waking up. He's feeling good. He's going for early morning walks. He's got his coffee, and he feels good right now.
And I think it not all, but so much is going to come down to Joe Mazzulla, second year maturation.
Yeah.
We talk about rookie players in the second year. I'll never forget the second training camp from McHale going back, and thinking it's like he's around for 10 years already. He was so rare in that regard, his maturation. Well, Joe Mazzulla, I don't feel that way about him as a coach yet, but I think it's a big proving ground year for him. Brad has handed him the keys to the Ferrari, guys.
Yes, he absolutely
not to the Kia.
Yes,
to the Ferrari.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's a heavy responsibility. And I'll come back and we're going to move on now on this topic. I'll come back to in Brad I trust so far. He's a smart guy. I'm biased toward him. I mean, I'm definitely. And let me just. Oh, by the way, I couldn't let our little encounter get away without pointing out a number. That's what I learned in this morning's paper. I'm just going to read you a paragraph, and I will not embellish it, but just Porzingis's 1,018 shots last season with the Wizards, 35% were 3-pointers, and he shot 56% from the field on twos. That was heartening to me. Yeah. And I just hope that that's the way he's viewed. That ratio, I'll 65, 35, twos to threes. That's all I'm asking for. Thank you very much. And I think he'll be fine.
Hey, Gary, going back quickly to Bob's point in Mazzulla and your point in Mazzulla, here's what I will say is the three guys that were probably the most difficult for Joe to deal with last year are all gone.
Right.
And that's Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, and Malcolm Brogdon. So I do think he'll have guys, Porzingis and Jrue, fresh start, right? Like Jaylen Brown's the one he's still probably got to win over a little bit more. But those guys come in with second-year Joe Mazzulla. We know Tatum is a guy who stood by Mazzulla over and over again, publicly and privately. And the other guys are going to fall in line. Derek White. Listen, the other part of the trade we even talked about is now the pressure is off Derek White to be the primary point guard. Now he becomes the secondary point guard. Jrue Holiday's the point, and you have probably the best defensive perimeter duo in the entire league in Jrue Holiday and Derek White together.
Yeah. Brad Stevens, unbelievable. So Harden in Philadelphia, as we move on to that. Now, the latest I'm seeing is he's supposed to show up today at training camp. Nobody wants him. He's requested a trade. Philadelphia's put out feelings. I mean, Morey, maybe he's asking for too much. What are you hearing, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, Morey is, just like he did with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
But Morey's also stubborn as hell. And you've got, James Harden calling him a liar over and over. So I'm sure Morey's not going to be overly concerned right now with trying to take care of James Harden. I don't think he gives a shit about James Harden. But at some point, you've got to realize that the longer you wait on this, the more disgruntled the real guy becomes in Joel Embiid. So you got to get something here somewhere before the All-Star break, because otherwise it becomes too late to make any sort of run this year, because you need continuity, you need chemistry. So they're going to have to do something. But I think their training camp is in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I was there last year. It's a really, really cool city. So I can only picture James Harden hitting the breweries right now instead of going to practice.
Right.
And, I hope he doesn't hit him too much, because we don't need YMCA-looking James Harden again.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
I got a quick Fort Collins thing for you guys.
Yes.
I drove Eric Fernston and Jeff Judkins to Fort Collins, Colorado, to Colorado State, to see Danny Ainge play against the Colorado State Rams.
Really?
Yeah, that's my one and only trip to Fort Collins, Colorado.
It's a great city, and there'll be fireworks in Fort Collins, I believe, here with training camp, the Sixers training camp, because it sounds like James Harden's just going to be a distraction. He's just going to try to be the biggest distraction he can be, which he doesn't need to try, because he usually is anyway. But now it's going to be at a high level. I mean, I don't know if there are any clubs in Fort Collins, but if there are, Harden's going to find them.
Bob, I know you want to talk about the Knicks.
Just quickly, I want to just throw it out there. There's optimism there in New York now, and I'm reading the New York papers, and and they're really excited. Not that they're going to be a contender, but they're going to be even more respectable. Last year, they got in the playoffs. They laid an egg a little bit. Do you see any difference with the Knicks this year, Jeff?
They're just trying to add as many Villanova guys as they can. and you know what? I actually give Leon Rose credit on that, because what are Villanova guys known for? They're known for their toughness, mental toughness. They're known for their winning attitude. They're known for, honestly, their unselfishness. So I love the fact, they added DiVincenzo, Josh, obviously Brunson is the guy. And, I don't know, like you said, I don't know if they have enough to take the next step, but they're getting closer and closer. They're one star away. They still got to move Randall for a bona fide star, or RJ Barrett. I think they're both good, nice players, but they're not top 20 players in the league. And that's I don't think Brunson is either, as much as I want him to be. You want him to be a top 20 player, and we take him over most point guards. He needs a running mate. He needs another superstar. He's kind of like, and I'd probably rather have him than Jaylen Brown, but he's probably similar to Jaylen Brown in a sense that, again, can't really be the number one guy for a championship team.
No, we are addressing, I think, our audience, a clientele that just doesn't haven't experienced what it's like to have the Knicks to hate.
It's great. It's great.
I mean, it's so much fun. I want them to be good so we can start hating them again.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
You can't hate this team. I mean,
no, you can't hate a team that's been irrelevant.
I mean, my God.
I'm not kidding. New York remains the most polarizing city in America for sports fans, and it's so cool when there's a good team that you can sink your teeth into.
It's the same thing for the Jets and the Giants right now. You can't hate them because they both stink.
Oh, they stink.
I mean, you can't hate the Yankees either. Come on, Yankees.
Let's get going. I mean, my God, you could hate Riley with the Lakers. You hated him even more with the Knicks, and then he went to Miami. I mean, but when he was with the Knicks, it was great. It was.
You hated John Starks.
Oh, you hated John Starks. Oh my God.
Right.
All right, guys. Great job as always. Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay Along for the Ride podcast, sponsored by FanDuel, the official partner of the CLNS Media Networks. Get into the NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. He said it. He's cleared his throat. Great job, fellas.
Yeah, it was fun.
We are going to get into next week. We need to get into the Bucks.
New FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV.